Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I would like to make a minor retraction for something that I said about Apple that was good in the past few days. Now, what I talked about recently, I said that I think it's a really good thing that Apple returned the MagSafe to their products again, that Apple is showing they care about the user experience. I was talking about how I believe the MagSafe system to be a superior system of charging to the garbage you get on many PCs where the DC jack is soldered to the motherboard, so anytime, there's any sort of movement back and forth, not only are you potentially breaking the jack, but now you require a motherboard repair, whereas with the MagSafe, if you're careless and you just pull it out, there's usually no damage to the jack and minimal damage to the charger. I think it's a good system, and they got rid of that in 2016, which was bad. And they were returning it recently, which I thought was good. So I did a video on the fact that I think this is a good thing. Thank you, Apple, for listening to the users. Thank you, Apple, for putting in there a feature that is going to make the machine last longer than it would otherwise. I think this is a good thing. And then I get an email from someone who points out to me that that Apple's implementation of MagSafe is actually potentially going to kill people. And I thought this was a meme. And then I received another email from an actual cardiac physiologist in the UK who detailed out to me how this feature, at least with phones, not with laptops, may indeed actually prove fatal. So what am I talking about here? Well, you know how MacBooks have a sleep sensor so that, essentially there's usually a magnet in the screen so that when you close it, the Hall sensor, the magnet sensor in the base, senses the magnet in the screen that's now next to it, and then it knows to put the laptop to sleep. MacBooks are not the only items that use Hall sensors. There are many different items. There are brushless motors that use Hall sensors, and there are also things like pacemakers that use Hall sensors. So why is this a thing? Well, the new iPhone 12 has an array of strong magnets in it for the wireless MagSafe charging system. And most phones that have wireless charging don't have this strong magnet system in it. But the new iPhone does, and it is pictured here. It's you can see snap on a new MagSafe case, a wallet, or both. Fear not, the wallet is shielded, so it's safe for credit cards. It's safe for the credit cards, but it may not be safe for your heart if you put it in your breast pocket. And this is an interesting article from the British Heart Rhythm Society. Life-saving therapy inhibition by phones containing magnets. The Heart Rhythm Society has issued the following information regarding the use of new iPhone 12 series and ICDs. Implantable cardioverter defibrillator remains the cornerstone therapy in the management of malignant ventricular arrhythmia for patients with high-risk cardiac conditions. An ICD system contains a battery, capacitors, sensing/pacing circuit together with an intra or extracardiac lead. All ICDs have a built-in switch. Reed switch Hall effect sensors, giant magnetosensitive resistors or coils, which respond to an externally applied magnetic field. When an external magnet is applied to a defibrillator, high-voltage shock therapy for ventricular tachycardia and ventricular fibrillation is suspended. It has been estimated that a magnetic field stronger than 10 Gauss is strong enough to activate these switches. I'm sure most people in the medical community at this point are throwing shit at their screen for how much I've mispronounced all this stuff. Sorry. Recently, Apple Inc. launched the iPhone 12 series, which has a circular array of magnets around a central charging coil for the phone to be compatible with MagSafe accessories. MagSafe technology contains a magnetometer and a single coil near-field communications reader. The magnets aids in properly aligning the iPhone on a wireless charger and other peripheral accessories and increases wireless charging speeds up to 15 watts. The first author raised concerns for possible device-to-device interaction due to presence of a strong magnetic array in the iPhone and MagSafe compatible cases. We thus tested this interaction on a patient with Medtronic Inc. ICD. Institutional Review Board approved the study. Once the iPhone was brought close to the ICD over the left chest area, immediate suspension of ICD therapies was noted, which persisted for the duration of the test. This was reproduced multiple times with different positions of the phone over the pocket. I repeat, this was reproduced multiple times with different positions of the phone over the pocket. We hereby bring an important public health issue concerning the newer generation iPhone 12, which can potentially inhibit life-saving therapy in a patient, particularly when carrying the phone in the upper pockets. Contemporary studies have shown minimal risk of electromagnetic interference with ICDs and prior smartphones without magnetic arrays. A recent case reported highlighted magnetic interference with a fitness tracker wristband deactivating an ICD up to distances of 2.4 centimeters. Apple's website does mention magnetic interference with medical devices in prior consulting with physician and medical device manufacturers. However, here's one of the things that I think is interesting about this, is that while they do say that this is something that may have a greater risk, it says they're not expected to pose a greater risk of magnetic interference to medical devices than prior iPhone models. So on Apple's own website, it says over here that they're not expected to pose a greater risk of magnetic interference to medical devices than prior iPhone models. However, if you were to take a prior iPhone model that does not have a bunch of magnets in it and put it in the breast pocket, it is not going to turn off the ICD or the pacemaker, but the iPhone 12 turns off the pacemaker. So, hey, listen, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'll admit that the IRP program is crap. You in the comments were right. I'll admit that that place did indeed have a Popeyes inside of it, and that the landlord was able to get a Popeyes. You were right. I was wrong. And in this case, when you say that it wasn't good that Apple returned the MagSafe, I'll admit I was wrong. I stand by the rest of what I put in this video about Apple caring about the user experience. I'll stand by the fact that I think it's a good thing that they put better screens in even their low-end devices than many of their competitors. I'll stand by the fact that I think MagSafe on the laptops is a good thing. But yeah, for MagSafe in the phone, that's horrible. And again, I don't see a lot of people that actually use their breast pocket for anything. I mean, I think it's almost as common that you're going to see people putting their phone in their breast pocket as it is common to see people with pens in there and pocket protectors. Most of the time that I see people with breast pockets, they're not even using them. But to be clear, when the risk of someone putting the phone in the pocket is death, this is bad. This is bad. Again, if someone has something that is for their cardiac health that if is not active at a point in time can result in death in their body, and the phone, which can be put into this pocket, can screw that up, like, is MagSafe really that important? And perhaps should this be in slightly larger print? Again, I'm not usually a person that thinks that there should be giant warning labels on everything for all. Again, when I see that a chair that I buy says, according to whatever, this is mildly more likely to cause cancer in the state of California, I will roll my eyes. But when we're talking about a phone, which is a common item that most people have, one of the most popular phones there is, and if you put it in your breast pocket and you have a pacemaker, it just turns off your pacemaker, I'd want there to be a label on the box or something. Or maybe, just maybe, it may not be the best idea to put gigantic magnets in the phone. Maybe magnetic charging is not really... Do you really need a MagSafe for your phone when you already have wireless charging? Is wireless charging not good enough? Are you not capable of taking your phone and plopping it on the stand? Do you need it to snap in so badly that it is worth risking people having heart attacks and whatnot over it? This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And there's been a meme that I have on this channel. The small percentage, a small number, small number. Small number, small number, small number, small number, small number, small number.
You're gonna die of cancer, I promise.
Small number.
You're gonna die of cancer, I promise.
Holy shit. It's going to be sad when Apple has a support page on their website that says this product may cause a, risk of heart failure for a small percentage of users. It would be sad if Apple were the first cell phone manufacturer in history that had a post on their website. It's not just a small percentage of users have an issue with the keyboard. A small percentage of users may have an issue with the graphics chip. A small percentage of users may have a battery issue. A small percentage of users may experience a heart attack while carrying our phone around that wouldn't have otherwise. And this is nuts. And I really don't like this. I don't like this thing where, I'm happy to say when I think that Apple does something that is good. So, for instance, a few years ago, they introduced the Independent Repair Provider Program, whereby independent repair shops like mine would supposedly be able to get access to diagnostic stuff, manuals, parts, and so on. And I did a video praising them, saying, congratulations, Apple, for doing a good thing. And it said thank you in the video thumbnail. And I was sincere there. I thought this was a good thing. Also, in that same time period, I said Apple should be commended for their efforts to protect user privacy, because 2 years ago, Apple was one of the few big tech manufacturers that was showcasing that they at least pretended to care about user privacy in a way that many other companies didn't. This is a good thing, and I thought they should be commended for it. Unfortunately, the problem is that when I say something good about Apple, my audience will call me an idiot, and then the sad thing is I wind up being proven wrong. So in this case with the Apple IRP program, not only was the program completely useless to repair shops, and I detailed it here in this post in a real Tesla that I'll link to below if I don't forget. I'm just going over what it was that made this program fundamentally worthless to anyone that actually hopes to, satisfy their customers or have returning business or have customers that don't hate them. And in addition to that, when it came to the point of privacy, not only did that program suck, but it also required that I submit all of my user information, including their address, their phone number, what it was they had, what they had repaired, to Apple, even if that individual bought the product used and had no business with Apple. So again, proving me to be a moron for what I had said just a year earlier. Now, let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something.